So I was fully on looking like this meme, trying to find a skirt like this literally everywhere, but absolutely to no avail. I did look high and low, but not as low as... So just like fixed Felix, I took on the matters fully into my own hands. And I had previously acquired some leftover fabric for €1, and it was this lovely textured cream, so I knew I had to use it for this. So my parameters were as follows: 2-side ruching, 2 layers of fabric for coverage and ruching freedom, big waistbands, and contrasting colors. So here is the button. W stands for the circumference of your waist, and of course you can adjust the length of the skirt to your liking, but let's say you're making a miniskirt, so the full length is about 45 centimeters. Don't forget that you need to cut the main rectangle of the skirt twice, one for its layer, as well as 2 gathering panels, one for each side. So the first step is, of course, cutting the pattern from your fabric, and then you need to hem all 4 sides of the main rectangles, starting with the vertical lines and then moving on to the horizontal ones, so that there are no rough edges visible in the lower hem of the skirt. You need to just hem one side because the other one will be both hidden and gathered, so there is no need to add bulk. A really cool way to make sure your hems are neat is folding them like this, so you create a little triangle in the corner so that again there is not a necessary bulk, and then repeat on the other rectangle. Back on hemming, hem all 4 sides of the waistband, again starting with the vertical and moving on to the horizontal, because this will be of great help when it comes to gathering. Do the exact same thing to the 2 gathering panels. And then it's time to prep your cords. Fold them in half, wrong sides together, and sew along the edge. Then flip them inside out, iron them flat, and sew the top and bottom part closed. Then it's construction time. There will be some very simple math involved, but honestly, don't worry. If you're not a 3rd grader, you should not have any problem with it whatsoever. You're going to measure the distance between the middle of your waist to the point where you want the center of the gathering panels to hit. Let's name this number D for distance, and keeping W as the circumference of your waist, you need to solve this really simple equation to find where you're going to place the center of your gathering panel in your skirt panel. This looks scary, but you have to keep in mind that the skirt panels will be gathered, so you really need to do this in order to be able to plan ahead and sew things when flat. So if you're having any trouble with it, let's solve it together. For, let's say, W equals 50 and D equals 14. So this means that the person's waist all around is 70 centimeters, and their desired distance between the center of their waist to the gathering panel is 14 centimeters. So D equals 14, W equals 70. 3/4 of W is 3/4 of 70, so it is 52.5. W plus 3/4 of W is 70 plus 52.5, so it's 122.5. And then you put the numbers into the whole thing, where X is, the distance that you need on the skirt panel. You change the numbers, so D is 14, W is 70, and W plus 3/4 of W is 122.5. 14 divided by 70 is 0.2, so X equals 0.2 multiplied by 122.5, so X equals 24.5 centimeters. So keep this, in mind. And after solving all these, you obviously need to place the gathering panels. and do so by sewing the 2 vertical sides in place, as we will need the horizontal sides to insert and gather our cords. Don't forget to top stitch down the middle of the panels to separate the paths of the cords. After sewing them in place, it is time for cord insertion, so take a safety pin and fit the cords through the gathering panels. Top stitch them very carefully in place, and this part of construction is done. Now it's time to actually make this thing into a skirt. So add the basting stitch to the top part of both panels of the skirt. Make sure to skip the gathering channels while doing this, because you need them to be flat for this to work. Then, starting with the back skirt piece, start pinning and gathering it to the inside of the waistband. This is a really easy way to make your seams look cleaner from the outside. And once you're done with that, it's time to add the front panel. Pin it once again to the inside of the waistband on top of the back piece. When gathering, make sure to place markings on the place where you want the gathering panels to hit. Once again, by measuring the desired distance from the center of the waistband and matching this with the center of the gathering panel. So, let's say that this is your waistband. And this is the panel of, the skirt. Okay? So you need to find the middle of the waistband. And you need to find the middle of the skirt. Okay? So this is the skirt, and here is where you have sewed the gathering panel, and in the waistband, which is the actual size of your waist, you want it to be, let's say, here from the middle. Okay, so for this to be gathered correctly, you need to pin the middle together, and then you're going to pin this to that. Okay, so pin 1, pin 2, and then you're going to gather all of these so it fits into this. Like, you get the vision, and then you gather the rest of these to fit into this. Yeah. Which one is it? I got my little notes. Yeah, then you gather and sew. Then paint the sides of the 2 skirt pieces together and sew them closed as well to have a unified front against the zipper. Unified front, not form. Yeah, to have a unified front against the zipper. Then it's the final step. Finally, top stitch the waistband with the same color thread as your cords. Press it in place. Add your zipper. And you're officially done. This is the finished skirt. As you can see, I have gathered it into different places to have like this elephant curve, the gathering on the side with the top stitching down the middle. Yeah, and this is the contrasting colored thread, matching the cords. And I also added the contrasting thread to the zipper, for a little pop of color, pop of fun. So yeah, let's sew it on.